presentation, I'm going to show you how to use Google Earth, which is an interactive software program free to download. We're going to start off over on the side toolbar where it says Layers, and click on the first one, which is Borders and Labels, and you see how now the countries are all highlighted in yellow. If you were to zoom in, the towns and states would also be. Now up in this box where it says Search, Fly To, you can put any destination, either street address or just a location such as the Empire State Building in New York, and hit Enter. Once you hit Enter, it'll zoom right into the place that you've put in New York City and the Empire State Building, which you can move around. Now if you click on Places of Interest, all of these little icons will pop up for restaurants, grocery food stores, hotels, everything in the area. And if you were to click on it, it'll give you the location, street address, and we can even do a resort. Okay. Then next, if you click on the one below, all blue little screens pop up, and these are pictures that people have submitted. You can submit your own picture if you would like, or upload your picture if you have pictures of Manhattan or the surrounding area. So we'll just check out a couple of these. These are all just pictures, different pictures of the Empire State Building. Now if you would like all those icons to go away, you just click on it again. Another really cool view is the street view. If you click on that, you wait and cameras will be visible. If you double click on a camera, it'll take you right down to the street view. Here you're able to look around in different directions, or if you would like, you can look up toward the Empire State Building. And it also gives you the option to go down the road by just clicking on each camera ahead of you. And this is a really cool feature for any students that may live far from New York City and maybe reading a book about a character in New York City, and this can really give them a better idea of what New York City streets look like. To exit out of here, I'm just going to hit on Street View again and zoom out. Over here is where you have your zoom in and zoom out. And now you can also hit 3D buildings, and this gives you a 3D view of Manhattan, and it builds all the buildings up for you. Okay, so now that all the buildings, if you click on them, they highlight, and you can double click and find out more about the buildings or the address. And last is weather. So if you click on the weather icon, it gives you the current temperature, and if you were to zoom out, it'll give you temperatures for the whole surrounding area, and it's in real time, so it'll even show some cloud coverage on a really cloudy, rainy day. Okay, and that is how you use the layer applications of the Google Earth. Okay, I have now brought you to the site that is www.googlelittrips.org, and this site is a great resource for teachers that contains many pre-made lit trips. So we're going to view one today. So we're going to go over to Downloads. They also, if you look up top, they have all the different grade levels, integration strategies, and Google Earth resources. So everything here is additional information. We're going to scroll down through all the books. Each one of these books is a Google Lit trip to go with it. And we're going to view Make Way for Ducklings by Robert McCloskey. Open. once you click on the dock, Google Earth will open. Okay, now it's going to zoom right in to where the story takes place. If you look over here, click on Boston. Boston is the capital city of Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So students will open up to this page and they will be able to view all the different stops that the characters, the ducklings in this story, made throughout the book. So Mr. and Mrs. Mallard are the two main characters, and this is their route. So it'll show 1 through 14 and all the different places that they went. Okay, so to start your Google Lit trip, students will just click on number 1, which is the public garden, and teachers have the opportunity or ability to put pictures right onto this site of the actual area from the story. Then you can also type in questions. What are some concerns that Mr. and Mrs. Mallard have about raising a family? So students would look at the pictures, answer the questions, and then look to see where the next stop is. They can even make predictions about where they'll be going next. So when you double click on Beacon Hill, it'll take you along the path to the second stop, where they'll answer this question. Okay, so for number 3, you'll come along and go to the State House, and they'll be going through this much slower. The question is, what is a State House, and what do you think happens in the State House? So after students read the story, they know that Mr. and Mrs. Mallard flew over the State House, but they might not have actually known what it looked like or any information about it. So here this gives them a better idea. And they can exit off and they can look and see how big the area of the State House is. And this is where they can be encouraged to use the layers that we did. Maybe view a picture or something else. See if it's in 3D to view the State House once it builds up. So they can use any one of those layers. So they can keep going. Charles River, and it gives a nice picture. And do you see a place where Mr. and Mrs. Mallard could raise their ducklings? So once you click on here, we're going to go over to the Charles River. We're going to look at the map and see, is there a safe place for them? And then we find out when we click on the next one that this is the quiet spot that they chose to raise their ducklings. And the author of this lit trip was even able to find a picture of this island here. It says Mrs. Mallard took care of her eggs. You can show a nest. And continue on. So the students would have the chance to go to all of them. And then even have free time to explore, zoom out, look at the whole path that they traveled, maybe, see some additional pictures of the area, clicking on these pictures to really see what Boston looks like.